All right, so this is the last one of my first batch of videos that I sort of edited and I'm going to upload into YouTube. I kind of wanted to get some sort of stagger in them. I was like, I was on the fence to whether I would do a video, edit it every single day, and upload one video a day on the day. But I think that's going to be kind of like a little bit on the hard side. I think that the way that I did it now, as far as batching editing a couple of days and just always kind of being 1 or 2 days behind the actual date of the workout, is probably going to be better for me that way. I mean, it's not like I'm getting paid for this or that time is of the essence or anything like that. It just needs to be something that's easier to edit, one than a bunch of videos at the same time, and maybe more like 3 or 4 videos a day to edit and put up into YouTube. And it's a learning process to where I start to think about the people that are creating content constantly. And I do know that there are some channels out there that go out and create content, like they pick a Sunday. Let's just say everyone's free on a Sunday. Maybe it's a couple that does something or whatever it is. And throughout the week, they think about maybe a few skits. Let's just say. You guys kind of know what channels I'm talking about, to where they go out and they either steal audio. And yes, I do believe that they're stealing audio. We make a big deal out of stealing music, but nobody's making a big deal about stealing someone else's audio. You know what I'm doing? A lot of the lip syncing things and a lot of the things that someone's already made. And I don't know how they're not, at one point, I think they're doing a better job as far as giving credit what credit is due. But they need to do a better job, I think, about sharing revenue. I don't know how that works. Again, I'm not monetized. I don't have no idea how that works. But if I had an audio clip that I made and someone is using it on their channel to lip sync to my audio, one, you definitely want credit for that. And two, if there's any revenue from their channel because they are a higher content maker than I am, I definitely need to be sharing the revenue from that, because without my content, they wouldn't have any, right? I think that's the way we need to look at it, to where if I steal someone's audio, and let's just say I have 10 million viewers, that audio, that revenue needs to be shared with the person who has, maybe 160 viewers, right? So I think that there's some sort of discrepancy there. Again, I don't know how the monetization works, but that needs to be looked into. But the idea is that I think that they go into like a Sunday, they make content for the week, and then they just upload it daily and then come back on Sunday and create more skits. If you know, at least it's the way it works. I know for sure in another sort of content creation platform that exists that a lot of people use, they create a lot of content on one specific day. Like for instance, they will create a photo shoot and a video shoot on one day in the month, and the day of the photo session, video session could last all day, but out of that day they get a month's worth of content that they continually upload to their subscribers. That's definitely a way to do it. And in this sense, I can see how much. My whole point is that I can see how much work that is to someone who wants to constantly put content out that's different than just some fat guy on an exercise bike. Again, I'm not doing that for this, but all of a sudden, when you start editing videos and uploading them, and then seeing, oh shoot, I'm going to run out of content because I can't upload every single day, you start to realize that how much work actually goes into creating content, and basically how much work goes into what amounts to making your own TV channel. It's a lot of people, maybe people that didn't grow up in that era are like, man, what are they doing? They're just making this, that, and the other. They're just, don't get me wrong, and I'll go into that. But there's a lot of people going, oh, what are they doing? They're just making videos and uploading and this, that, and the other. Well, it's a process, man. I'm not doing anything, but I have one camera pointed at me doing this, and I just want to add a little music and a little voiceover to the thing, just to not make it as boring as possible. And again, the whole reason that I'm doing this is to hold myself accountable for my health routine. However, if it was monetized, that'd be a completely different story. But when we get into the pressure, and that story is pressure, where people are, now YouTube or whatever platform that they're using is their life, and now they have to generate content. And while it started off like a labor of love, it's now actually like a real job. And I think one of the issues is that people start making content that's not wholesome anymore, and I do worry about that in our society, to where our content isn't wholesome and it's not for the whole family. And there's a lot of these issues of these live streamers out there doing stupid shit, like the guy in Korea doing this evil shit, and he has a history of doing a lot of bad things, but the reason he does it is because he gets a ton of views, and because of that, people send him money. There's other wholesome content that we all, whatever you don't think is wholesome, it's usually unfortunately generates a lot of income for them, and there are less and less few. I mean, you can name the highest rated sort of, or the biggest money makers of creating content versus the people that kind of struggle in creating content that are not in the same sphere of entertainment, let's just say, that are more family friendly. And some of them are out there and very famous and very entertaining, but they don't come as often. And if they do, I don't know where they're at. My algorithm, sometimes I click on something because I'm curious, and then bam, it just loads, the algorithm just loads up with things like, well, if you like this, you're definitely gonna like that. And I kind of have like an issue with that. Anyway, while this may not be considered wholesome content, I don't think it is. It's just something that when you start doing these little things, and again, I've only uploaded like 5 or 6 videos, you start to really appreciate the work that goes into being in the consistency of someone that makes this their livelihood and creating content their livelihood, whether they're actually making wholesome content or not. I don't know. All right, thanks for listening. Enjoy your youth, and I'll talk to you later.